Welcome to Comic Station, issue number 66 for April 2nd, 2014. As you can see, it's back to the original, Scott and Paul. And we want to thank Echo, Endless, and Teeny Fox for joining us, helping us improve our show for the past 4 months. And all the effort that they put into it. Unfortunately, some conflicts came up, and they may join us in the future, but right now it looks like it's going to be back to format. And again, we're going to be changing up the format a little bit and seeing what works the best. So your comments really matter, as always. But so let's get to the comic books. And first off, we have Deadpool versus Carnage because it's Deadpool. I love Deadpool. I've been reading them all. I really enjoyed the Night of the Living Deadpool, and I'm still reading the Marvel Now Deadpool. And I was really looking forward to a lot of the same. Unfortunately, this is maybe not up to that quality completely, though they did have a number of jokes, some running gags. Of course, it's Deadpool, and you get Carnage, who's also insane. So that's the chemistry that you have going here. And it was fun, it was interesting. Not too much overall really happened, but they set it up enough that you really know that they're playing on the two insanities kind of meshing together and seeing who can out-crazy each other. And maybe I was looking for a little bit more of the quality of jokes that I was in some of the other ones, or in Night of the Living Deadpool it was a lot of the really good references. But I think this is overall, it's interesting, maybe not up to that quality though.
But you do get Deadpool, and you
do
get
Deadpool
Carnage.
and Carnage.
Cool. First book that I'm going to be reviewing tonight is Aquaman and the Others, #1. If you've been following Aquaman, he's been hanging out with this group of kind of superpowered individuals from all over the world. The basis of this story is they all have old ancient Atlantean artifacts, and the artifacts stop working, and then all of a sudden, like, there's a hit squad trying to recover these different artifacts from the different individuals. And so Aquaman kind of goes around, they figure it out, and he tries to gather them up to try to figure out, first of all, these artifacts seem to be losing their power, and so the only one that's not is the Trident, Arthur's Trident, because he is from the line of kings. So he still manages to keep the power in his Trident, and he thinks that if he takes all of these artifacts, then he'll be able to repower them up. And in the meantime, they're trying to figure out who's attacking, who's trying to collect these artifacts.
Why are the artifacts losing power?
Right, yeah, the whole 9 yards. So, I mean, you know, look, they're all C, D, E-list characters.
It's Others. I love the title. Is just Aquaman and the Others.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, if you like Aquaman, it's fine. You know, I mean, it's.
Might as well say Aquaman and Friends. I mean, put it in the whole '80s like television.
Yeah, it just you know, it's typical. I mean, his main book is better, but it's readable. I'm not high praise.
No, which is a shame because Aquaman's gotten a lot of flack, and some people have started to move towards his side a little bit, so hopefully this doesn't set them back.
Yeah, I mean, they have toughened him up, and this doesn't detract from him, but it's bringing in all these other characters that you just
shows
you don't care about
the world that he's in.
Yeah, you just don't. There's nothing about any of these characters that makes me want to care about anything that happens to them.
Ugh. Oh well. The next one we have is from Boom Comics. This is Dead Letters. This one actually started off kind of where guy loses his memory. He's instinctually good at all this shooting, jumping off ledges and rolling, all this martial arts kind of assassin kind of stuff. And so lost memory. That you get where that's kind of going. There's you get the idea that there's some gangs that are trying to use him for whatever purpose. And that was all kind of expected. And at the end, though, the twist comes in. I don't want to ruin it for you, but where he is and the implications of that place is quite interesting. The only hint I'll give is maybe a little biblical, though they don't touch on that really in this comic. But that gives you an idea of where he might be. Artwork was purposefully rough, and I'm not a big fan of that, but story-wise got me interested. Artwork is not my favorite. But if you like that artwork, or you can get past artwork, I think the story is interesting so far.
Cool. All right. Next up on my list here is Caliban by Avatar. Welcome to the Caliban. It is a spaceship. Space mining ship, small crew, carrying a bunch of passengers that are asleep, cryostasis, whatever you want to call it. They're out looking for different, worlds that are habitable. In the meantime, as they find each world they come to, they find different ores and whatnot. They bring them on the ship. And eventually they send them back to Earth, which is, decayed, blah, 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 blah.
Well, of course.
So
what we're doing.
But while they're traveling, a small crew is awake, running the ship, and they're traveling at light speed. And then all of a sudden, boom, they either hit something or something hit them. And that's where the story really starts to take place.
What kind of genre is it? Like,
it
sounds like a space
horror.
marine. Oh, okay. So
yeah, I mean, it's Avatar, so it's going to get, eventually it's going to probably get pretty bloody, I would
think.
say.
Avatar does a beautiful job on some of their bloody work.
So, in that respect, it was not a bad book. The story was good. I liked the artwork in it. The question now is the crew that's left alive after this collision, they basically, something has now formed with the ship. So they have their ship and this other thing, and that's where they leave it off at. So is this other thing alien? Is it another different type of ship? They can see parts of it within their ship. It's all fused together, and that's where the story's at. So not bad. I'll give it a second look.
So the artwork, obviously from the cover at least, looks like it's going to be a lot of blues and reds and dark colors. Is that?
Yeah, that's pretty much the theme throughout the book. You're in space, and they really, they're bringing the ship down in those darker colors, and the crew are wearing the drab green outfits, that type of thing. So
not enough really to tell if it's going to be a good horror story so far, or
no, they really didn't touch on any of the horror. So, but I mean, it's coming.
It's a setup. So
yeah,
it's the first issue. Hopefully, by the second or third issue, we'll be able to tell how the story's going to.
Yeah, I mean, it's Garth Ennis, so that'll lend me to at least give it a second. I mean, I'm not a big horror guy anyway.
Yeah.
So, but right now they got my attention.
Okay, that's all they really need for the first issue.
Exactly.
Technically, I guess the big title for this week is Inhumans #1 from Marvel, because this starts, as it says, Marvel's latest epic. Really, it's the biggest next event. Some of the left off in the last event, the Tarragon Mist came, and so Inhumans are kind of the mirror and at the same time counterpart to the X-Men. They're the kind of mutants, but in this case the mutants are made by this Tarragon Mist, which acts with their DNA. Certain people will turn into Inhumans, and therefore they'll get powers, they'll become different shapes or whatever, and they become mutants essentially. But it's not just their DNA, they also have to have this mist. So you can see in here where the last one left off, the king is gone, the queen is looking for him, Black Bolt is the king, and you can see there's a little bit of tension, different maybe tribes within the group that are vying for where they think that the Inhumans should be going. So you get the one side and you see a little bit of what their antagonist is going to be in this series so far, and conveniently you get some background through some dialogue, and so it goes through it, but it never really bogs down too badly. So someone that's not really familiar with Inhumans, I picked it up pretty well. I just knew the basics, that they were basically mutants. But going into it, I felt like I got the story pretty well. The artwork it's Marvel, it's good, and wasn't overly impressed by exactly what happened, but again, it's issue 1, it's a setup, and it really is just trying to get people used to what are the Inhumans.
I'm curious, and from a total Marvel movie standpoint, since Marvel's not allowed to use the term mutant, this is how we're going to start to change everybody over.
Oh yeah, they're if they don't get the if Fox doesn't lose the X-Men eventually, this is how they'll probably move into that little realm.
All your favorite characters will become Inhumans. Beautiful. All right, last on my list here is The Field, and The Field, which is by Image, is exactly that. Opens up, you have a mostly naked guy in his tidy whities running through a cornfield. You can't quite figure out what's going on. All of a sudden he stops, he looks down, and there's a phone. He picks up the phone, it asks him for a code, he pushes in a bunch of numbers, can't get the code, finally, of course he gets the code.
Sure.
Then the phone starts sending him messages. The first message is, don't get in the car. All of a sudden a car comes whipping through this cornfield, stops, and this righteous Christian guy gets out and gets him into the car. So he's driving around.
He wasn't supposed to get in the car.
I wasn't supposed to get in the car. The phone told him that. So now he's with this crazy Bible-thumping Christian guy who gives him some clothes. The guy does not know who he is. So now he's got clothes. They stop at a diner. And all of a sudden this Christian guy just goes off and shoots everybody in the diner. And in the meantime, the phone's saying, get out of the diner because he's going to kill you. And it's really bizarre because there's really no basis of what's going on here.
So you're just as lost as he is.
Yeah, you got this guy with amnesia, this crazy Christian guy, and then all of a sudden, a whole biker gang comes pulling up into the field, the original field where he was, saying, he's gone, we got to find this little SOB. And that's pretty much where it's off. So I'm like, they've got me hooked in because now I'm like, I got to figure out what's going on with this. This is actually
they don't give you anything.
No, I mean, it all takes place at night. The artwork's pretty. It's not real rough. It's a little bit rough. It kind of fits the whole feel of it. You know, language is strong in this, so be prepared. Also, I'd like to mention, language is also strong in Caliban. You know, the smaller, you know, publishers will be a little more lenient with it. So,
which I love.
Yeah, this one is actually pretty bloody. The scene in the diner. I mean, people are getting shot left and right. Things are getting blown off of their bodies. So it's pretty cool in that respect.
So Image can do that.
Yeah, Image can do it, and they did it pretty well. They got me locked into this one. I definitely have to read number 2.
Hey, good praise on that one. Last one. Total just fan service for me because I love it. This is Red Sonja and Cub. This is a one-shot from Dynamite. This is not written by Gail Simone, which is one of the reasons I actually have in my pull box is Red Sonja from Gail Simone. But this one fit perfectly. If you are enjoying that series or you really like Red Sonja, this one will be really good. The artwork is fantastic. Red Sonja is... She's her. She's just hacking. She's slashing. She has the full female empowerment. The Cub, the little girl, I love the little girl. I wanted more of her. She knew what she wanted. She knew what she had to do. She did it. She really could have been like the protege to Red Sonja. But you have to read it if you really like that kind of story. It's really good artwork, really good action with some story with really good flow to it. So I enjoyed it. I will be adding this to my list, even though it's not in the line of the Gail Simone Red Sonja. I'll be adding it to that.
I'm a big fan myself. I mean, I've loved. I mean, the Red Sonja, Conan stuff. Anyway, that's one of my personal favorites. So yeah,
this will be perfect.
Yeah, I'll definitely read that.
And as a one shot, just get it, enjoy it, and you're already done.
Yep, beautiful.
All right. We do have our statue and our reviews coming up, but we're gonna move it over a little bit for our statue today because, you know, Walking Dead, everyone loves it. The season closed up. Yep. And everyone's favorite character is Daryl here, of course, and he has the crossbow. This is a really nice bust. It is limited edition, so
yeah, I would say come get them. We have 2 here at our store, so if anybody wants one, you can either come into the store and get it or go onto our website.
Yeah, the everything has the details on here. You have a little bit of starting of his ripped shirt on the sides. You get all the threads. You have the angel wings on the back of his shirt, as well as you have the strings. Now, I do want to say that this is a little bit fragile. There are plenty of little arrows and strings and edges that could be broken off, so you want to be a little careful with it. But otherwise, it has some nice heft to it. It's solid. The material is a little rough, but that fits him pretty well. Mm-hmm. And it's Daryl. Everyone loves Daryl. So, yeah, in this case, it's 680 out of 4,500. So there's only 4,500 of these statues. If you're a Walking Dead fan, and especially his fan, you're gonna love it. Probably your wife or sister, or female.
Some lady in your life.
Some female. I see it all the time on Facebook. Half of my female relatives love him, and they let it be known on Facebook all the time. So, kind of getting sick of it. But
surprise, one of them.
Surprise. So, yeah, check it out. Go into your local comic book store, check out Comic Station, and see it. It could be the perfect addition to your comic books. Put it on a mantle, or just your whole collection. So, check it out. And next, we have our reviews. For the first review, we have Starlight #2. Of course, this is following up for the first review. Check it out on Front Towards Gamer. But we'd like to follow up on the second or third issue just to see how things are going. And Starlight #2, after getting past the cover art, which he spent a little time on, Leto really did delve into and toward the narrative direction of how Starlight wants to be treated, once they treat women. And he even throws in a little Arthurian legend, because literature.
There you go. In Vale #2, it's a crime-ridden and corrupted city in the backdrop of the mystery behind Vale and her strange abilities. A strong #1, less so #2.
Yeah. Going on the downward trend, Terminator Salvation, the final battle #5. Shame, since the last one actually got a decent review, and in this one, unfortunately, for a series that time travel is built into the very DNA of, you'd think that they'd have done a better job of weaving it in, and really just didn't.
And once again, please address all comments to Leto Giovacchini. So you know, these are all his things, but you can check out all the reviews.
Yep, check him out on fronttowardsgamer.com. Leto always puts up his reviews on there, and he does a great job of just keeping the content flowing. And you know what? Thank you for sticking with us for issue #66, April 2nd. And little PSA, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is coming out this week, and I'm gonna go see it tomorrow for a little advanced preview, and I'm looking forward to it immensely. And it is going to have probably the biggest impact on the Avengers world, the Marvel universe in the movie theaters, of all the Phase 2 movies.
That's a friend of ours and a customer here at the store who's a movie reviewer has seen it and said the exact thing.
It will.
It is definitely going to impact the Avengers universe, and his words, as far as the standalone movies are concerned, this is the one that is the closest to epic proportions like the Avengers.
Yep.
So he really enjoyed it.
Yep. So go check it out. Obviously, you like comic books. You're watching this, and I am really stoked to see it. So I can't wait to see it. And of course, I don't have to tell you, end credits.
End credits.
End credits. All right. Thank you very much. This is issue #66 for Comic Station, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.